Hey guys, good morning. I just wanted to take a little bit of time here to demonstrate doing some scapular strengthening exercises, laying in what we call a prone position. I find that this position probably isolates the scapular muscles better than using the bands per se. The bands are great and they're wonderful kind of for loosening up, for warming up. But for really isolating and specifically strengthening the muscles that are involved, the decelerators, the muscles that are involved in throwing and pitching, this is probably a better position to really target and isolate those muscles. So just a different way of going about it. There's 4 positions that Keaton's gonna go through. Keaton's been doing these exercises for quite some time, really since he was probably 10, 11 years of age. We started doing the exercises, and when he first was doing the 4 exercises, he really could only do no weight. He could do maybe 1 or 2 sets on them. We could really tell that there were some weaknesses there, and so we've been working on these, and now he's up to using at times around 3 pounds, hovering closely to being ready to do around 5 pounds. But you kind of need to know where you're starting out. You need to get kind of a sense of, is my athlete, is my ball player, are they weak in some of these areas? So you want to start out with no weight, and you want to go through these 4 positions. You want to do 1 set of 15 on each position, and sort of assess each one as you go. And you want to use sort of pain, and you want to use fatigue, how tired it becomes, to sort of guide you on whether you should stop where you're at or if it's okay to go forward. So we're going to do a set of 15. At the end of each set, we're going to assess, hey, did you have any pain with that? And we're going to kind of assess fatigue. And I kind of just use a real simple low, medium, or high. Low is, hey, at the end of 15, that was easy. Medium is, at the end of 15, I'm pretty tired. And high at the end of 15 is, that was pretty hard to do. And if someone is telling you that it didn't hurt, I didn't feel any pain whatsoever, and the fatigue was low, easy, then that's signs that you should definitely continue through at least a second set. We always want to make sure that you can do 3 sets of 15 before ever adding any weight to this exercise. So that kind of paces the progression in a way that works you and moves you forward, but it never over taxes the area. These exercises really should only be done every other day, and you need that day in between to recover. And if you're still sore, clearing into the next time that you're doing the exercises, you probably did too much on the session that you did. So you're trying to pace it at a level that, yeah, you're getting some fatigue and maybe some light soreness in the muscles, but being able to recover so that in 2 days' time, when you come back to do the exercise again, you're ready to do it. So we're going to go through this and just demonstrate these exercises real quick. The first one is what we call the upper trap exercise, and you're just squeezing the shoulder blades together. The weights are in the hands, but at first, to get the technique down, we don't really worry about lifting the hands. So Keaton, go ahead and start on that one, and go ahead and squeeze. And you want to make sure their head stays down. I always position the patient, the athlete, on some pillows when we do this. And at home, when you're doing this, you're probably going to be doing this probably on the floor is a good place. Before I got this table for home, that's how we always did it, just on the floor on top of some pillows. The pillows add an extra element of stability that makes you have to work a little harder too. But you just want to see that these shoulder blades are coming together, and then he works through a set of 15. There he is, he's finished. And so then I ask, just generally, if you're dealing with an athlete that's been injured, I'm always more concerned about the pain part for them, and then also the fatigue. So I say, Keaton, did you have any pain with that?
No.
Did you have any pain with that? And the answer should be no. A no response to pain, we use our pain scale, 0 to 10. And if you're going to say, no, I had no pain, you're saying it was a 0. For rehab purposes and dealing with injuries, if someone is saying, well, it was just a 1 or a 2, not bad pain, for these kinds of situations, you really want to kind of stop at that point. You're looking for a clear, no, I had no pain with that. And then how was your fatigue? Was low, medium, or high?
Low.
If it was low, easy, then you know you're going to come back around to that and do another set here in just a second. So then let's go out to the side. Let's do our rhomboid position, which is kind of our thumbs down position. And again, most people are going to be doing this on the floor. So you're just going to have your elbows locked out, and then from the floor, in this case from the table, you're going to go straight up and straight back down. You want to make sure, and he's going to go ahead and do a set of 15 and work through that. Probably some of the things you want to pay attention to is that they maintain this 90-degree angle while they're doing this. A lot of times you'll see, especially as they get tired, their arms will start drifting back along their side. You want to just maintain this arm straight out to the side, again, to kind of isolate the specific muscles that we're interested in working on this. So this is called the thumbs down position, or kind of a rhomboid focused exercise. All right, and then you want to go same thing. Any pain with that, Keaton?
Mm-mm.
And how was the fatigue? Low, medium, or high?
Low.
So low. So when you get no and low, that's the green light to keep moving forward. But we're going to go ahead and do the next position. Next position is thumbs up. And so go ahead and start on that. Okay. And same thing. You just want to make sure that they're staying out at this 90-degree angle. You're going to see different muscles being worked on this. This is kind of more of a mid-trap focused exercise, but you've got posterior rotator cuff exercise muscles working. There's a lot of other muscles working as well, as you'll feel this in your neck and even through the lower back to some degree. All right, any pain with that?
No.
And how was the fatigue? Low, medium, or high?
Low.
All right, so then let's do the last one, which we put your arms up in front. This is the upper trap, the lower trap position. And you just kind of want their arms up in front. They can be angled out a little bit. I call this the Superman position. And then you're going to go ahead and do a set of 15. And you just want to make sure their head stays down, but you're going to see the whole back start to activate there. This is working more the lower trap, but again, a lot of posterior rotator cuff, decelerators involved in this, as well as muscles into the neck region as well. There you go. So he did another set of 15, or did a set of 15 on that. Any pain with that?
No.
Nope, no pain. How was the fatigue? Low, medium, or high?
Low.
Low. So then what you want to do is and again, I would encourage you to start out with no weight and kind of assess where your strength is at with your athlete, and then go through each one, and then come back and do a second set of 15 on any of them that were no and low. And then as you go through the second set on each one, ask at the end of each exercise where they are in terms of pain and fatigue, and then come back and do a third set of 15 on any of them that are no and low. If you can kind of go through all 4 of the exercises and you're getting no and low on all of them, then the next step is to introduce 1 pound of weight. You start the process over again, working back through 1 set on up to 3 sets, following kind of the pain and fatigue guidelines that I've just been describing. And then from there you would go to 2 pounds, and then eventually 3. At this age group, these kids that are about 13 years of age, you want to see them doing these exercises with somewhere between 2 to 3 pounds of weight eventually. And once they're able to demonstrate that they can do these exercises with around that amount of weight, those muscles in the scapular region that play a huge role in the throwing motion, they're adequately strengthened to probably be able to do the pitching motion safely and really kind of protect their arm. And so really in this off season, we want to take a lot of time to really fill their tanks back up, so that then the toll of pitching sort of depletes their tank of strength and endurance. And so we really want to use these exercises to really fill their tank up. And so I really like these exercises for that. Now after we do those 4 exercises, Keaton's going to lay on his side. And we're going to do an external rotation exercise laying on your side. And so we kind of throw in, you can use a towel if you want. Sometimes that helps to put a little towel to stabilize this. And again, I like using weights in this kind of sideline position to really isolate this posterior rotator cuff. We do, obviously do this with bands and different angles and positions. We're up into external rotation and abduction, but I really like this in a sideline position with weights. It gives me a pretty good sense of really how strong are some of these muscles. But again, I would start with no weight or maybe a pound of weight. Unless you're dealing with injury, you probably could start with about a pound of weight. And then same thing, you're going to maintain this 90-degree angle, and you want to rotate up. So go ahead and rotate up, probably about to there, not really any higher than that. You don't want your hand to start turning. If you get up too high, you're going to start losing the form of the tendon. So you want to come up to about there and then back down. So Keaton's going to go ahead and do about a set of 15. And then same thing, you're assessing pain, you're assessing fatigue. You're also watching the form and the technique to make sure that they're doing it correctly on that as well. And so he'll do his set of 15. This is again powerful, working the decelerators of the posterior shoulder. And then same questions. Keaton, any pain with that?
No.
How was the fatigue? Low, medium, or high?
Low.
Yep. So then you would do a second set, and he's not going to do that necessarily now. And then eventually, if he does the second set, still no and low, he'll do a third. Being able to do 3 sets of 15. Keaton right now has 2 pounds of weight in his hands. He's routinely been doing this with 5 pounds, but for demonstration purposes, we just put a 2-pound weight in his hand. And really, again, at this age, these kids should probably be doing this exercise with around 5 pounds of weight. Somewhere between 3 to 5 pounds of weight you really want to try to get up to. And again, when you see them being able to perform this exercise with around 5 pounds, those ones on your stomach with somewhere around 3 pounds, you know that those muscles are sufficiently strengthened and that they're in a good protective state when they're like that. And if they're way off the mark, you want to be concerned about that, and you really want to go to work to really build those muscles up for sure. Then go ahead and stand on up, Keaton. Last couple things that we do is a standing shoulder raise, and so he needs 2 weights for that. And so you're gonna just stand here like this, and then he's gonna do a shoulder raise to the front. So go ahead and same thing, we just wanna do a shoulder raise to the front. Again, I like weights more so than bands. I think bands are good for warming up, loosening up, but it's really difficult to get the nuances of how strong somebody really is when you're just using the bands. And the weights are something a little more objective that you can kind of measure and kind of get an idea of, well, how strong should somebody be? How much weight should they be doing to know that their arm is sufficiently strong to handle the loads that throwing puts on it? So he would do a set of 15, same instructions as the other exercises. You ask, is there any pain? Yes or no. How is the fatigue? Low, medium, or high? We're looking for a no and a low to keep going forward. And so I like on this one to alternate. So after we do one to the front, then we go ahead and do our side abduction exercise out to the side. So then we go out to the side, and you just want to make sure that they're looking kind of straight ahead, that they're, good symmetry. You want to just come up to shoulder height on that. And again, you would work through a set of 15. And for all of us, we're generally all going to be weaker when we do the one to the outside than the one to the front. All of us are weaker in that area. But when we raise our arms out to the side, we're using the top part of the rotator cuff, the supraspinatus, which is one of the muscles that typically get injured in rotator cuff injuries. It's the one that they're surgically repairing. Its main motion is to assist the arm in going in abduction. The deltoid on the surface is really the prime mover and out there, but you've got to have those internal stabilizers working for that motion to work well. So again, you would do a set of 15, and you would ask the same questions about pain and fatigue. If there was no and low on both of those, then we would come back and we would do a second set to the front, second set to the side. We'd keep working through that until we do 3 sets of 15. Once you can do 3 sets of 15, then it's time to increase weight. At this age, these, again, you're using the deltoids, which are the big prime movers. They're big, bulkier muscles than some of the smaller stabilizers that we've done laying on our stomach or even on our side. And these exercises, you probably want to see them at minimum doing these with 5 pounds. And possibly working up, even closer to 10 pounds on something like this over time. But I would say for sure you want to see them doing this with 5. I would start out, if they're okay, I wouldn't start out with much more than about 2 pounds and just verify that, that they can actually get through 3 sets of 15. You can always go up in weight, but you're probably going to be surprised to find that a lot of the kids are quite weak at no weight or even just a pound or 2 of weight on a lot of these exercises. And so I just like these exercises. It's a nice little grouping of exercises that you can work on. There's other exercises that we also do as well that we can discuss at a later time. We do some forearm exercises, some gripping type exercises. There's a lot of other endurance kind of exercises that you can do with a rope and weights and a stick, and work on some wrist rolling type things. And then that's, the upper body exercises. Really, for guys that are pitching and throwers, it's the lower half, it's the core, it's the hips, it's the legs. And again, we can discuss this at another time, but Keaton, we have a whole group of various free squatting type motions that we go through, and he has some leg lift exercises that he does as well. And we're looking at branching out into some Olympic style lifting here at some point, maybe over the winter. Again, really trying to build the body back up, and that would be kind of out of season type exercises. Then we can sort of discuss also at a later time about in season routines and what you do kind of during the season, and then kind of how that works once you're out of season as well. So thank you. Hopefully this is helpful, and we'll do another one at another time. Thanks.